Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I am here today with a bit of a inspired by kind of video. So I was watching Ceri the Crafter this week, and he made the most precious and smart project of basically a nature collection book. So kind of like a flower press, but in a book, and kind of like, sort of not necessarily temporary, but sort of like transient. Like you can take this with you to go out, collect things, and then you can come back and you can you can press them better. So I will link his channel below. Actually, I'll link his video below with this project because I'll leave the full tutorial kind of guidance up to him. I'm going to do a bit of a partial and also just take you on a practical use of this book and just kind of like show you what I'm up to. So I chose this book today, and I'll set the parts aside. I'll explain it to you because I actually need to finish the cover. So this is kind of a tutorial, a partial one. So this is just a vintage book, and it's called Flower Chronicles, which I thought was a really nice touch for making this collecting book. So I also have here some eco-printed fabric that has this great big leaf on it. This was from a catalpa tree, just a massive leaf from the catalpa tree. And what I want to do is I want to glue it to the whole inside of here to make a nice sort of soft landing for my papers to sit against. Now what I'm going to use is literally just my glue stick. This glue is really great for adhering fabric very nicely. I don't feel the need to use Fabri-Tac actually for this project. I will monitor it over time, and then maybe if I feel like it needs a touch-up, I'll give it one. But for now, this is a very kind of easy peasy kind of project. And Ceri also made it very accessible and easy. It's kind of a low-cost, great project for recycling too. So this, I'm going to take this side of this. I'm not going to use my nice leafy side. I'm actually going to save that because this is just going to be sort of like a scrappy kind of inside for this. And you'll see in Ceri's video, he is even more simplified in his way. He takes a book and he secures the internal spine with some fabric and trims it down. He doesn't cover the inside here at all. I'm just doing it because I feel like it. And I had this piece of fabric I wanted to use in my let's use up all the things kind of mode that I'm in. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of neatly as I can kind of trim right around here. Just sort of line this up with the book. Just come at it on a little bit of an angle here. Okay. So I'll just sort of free this up from the rest. I had a lovely day today. I had a really nice walk. It's so beautifully fall here now. And I went for a walk at the Ecology Center. We saw a coy wolf looking at us from the bushes, from the forest. He was just he made eye contact with my husband. My husband could see him a little better than I could. I sort of saw a flash in the pan, but my husband really saw him, and they locked eyes because my husband is much taller than me, and he was able to see him up on the hill. I wasn't at a good vantage point, but I did see a kingfisher today, which was so awesome. I'll try to include maybe some video of the kingfisher. He was up in a tree hunting over the water, but yeah, you'll be able to tell he's a kingfisher. He's so cool. So I was really excited by that, getting to see a kingfisher. I don't see them very often. Well, I've actually never seen one myself, but I mean, I don't see them spotted in like the groups that I'm a part of, the nature, kind of stuff that I'm a part of. So I'm going to leave this as it is. It's going to, on its own, do a bit of fraying because this is cotton. So I'm completely happy with this. Now, what do we do with this book? Okay, so I'm going to show you what I collected today, just because you'll probably see a snippet or two in the video. So the concept here is just like a flower press. You can buy beautiful flower presses. You can make your own in many different ways, or you can even buy them pretty inexpensively at like children's kind of craft supply stores, bookstores. Like you can often find kits for flower presses, those kind of things. This is like a really easy and totally the same method that they use to make them. So basically, you're going to need pieces of cardboard that are the same size as your book, as well as pieces of watercolor paper or mixed media paper or a thicker paper. I'm using watercolor paper, and that's what you're going to trap things in between. So I collected today, look at this beautiful big oak leaf. Isn't that just unreal how pretty that is? So I'm going to keep that just in here. This is maybe a little big. It's kind of trying the purpose of the book, but for the purpose of the collection book, it actually was just fine to have it like that, right? So you layer cardboard, then your folded paper, another piece of cardboard, and then another folded piece of paper. This one I stuck a couple of flowers in to just show you. So again, you know, you can take these. This is a black-eyed Susan and what are these called? Marigold. And you know, you can put them into a press where they're really going to get pressed, like one that has, you know, twisty knobs to really compress. You can definitely do that. So another thing of paper. So then you just kind of keep on repeating until you fill your spine. So in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of cardboard, and I think it would be 6 pieces of paper. So 1, 2, 3. So paper, cardboard, paper, cardboard. And that's 4, 5. Yeah, 6. So I put 6 in there. And I just did a little collecting today, and you know, I didn't do a massive collection because where I was there weren't a lot of like flowers. I think I would mainly want to collect flowers and some leaves, but then you just put the whole entire thing inside here. You don't bind it or anything like that. And then you can decide how you want to close it. And what Ceri did was he took sort of that almost like mask elastic, and he did like a loop-de-loop around so it was a crisscross. I just grabbed this vintage big elastic that I had in my jar of elastics that I use for tie-dyeing, and I just did this, and it's just a knotted elastic just to kind of keep everything together. And you see how the book, it can expand, right? Because there's going to be flowers all pressed inside there. So yeah, I am super excited about this very simple but so intelligent project from Ceri. I mean, he is very inspiring to begin with. And what else? So I did collect a few other things while I was out today. So maybe like some inspiration for you other than flowers. Right now we have all of these fiery bushes, these very fiery red. They have these little berries on them, but look at those amazing leaves, right? So, you know, I'm capturing a bit of autumn before it's gone. These very papery, beautiful leaves. So for those of you who've asked me about, like, how do you work with leaves? Aren't you worried that they're just going to degrade over time? That kind of thing. So when I talk about, like, the easiest leaves to work with, it's these ones. These are, like, very dry and papery, beautiful color, and they're going to retain all of that. This leaf is not going to change. When you glue it down on something, it's going to stay just as it is. There's nothing about it that will change. It's lost all its chlorophyll. It's fully dry. It's not going to mold in any way. It doesn't store any water in its veins. So this is its final, you know, state. So these are the kind of leaves that you want. These are not birch. Why can I not remember the name right now? Butternut. I believe these are butternut leaves. And then another good one to use is an oak leaf. So when oak leaves dry green, they stay green. The chlorophyll just doesn't really change in them. The only thing about them is that they can get a little curly and delicate on their edges. So, you know, you want to soak them with whatever glue you're using. And then when they dry brown, you get, especially if you get a nice flatter leaf. Let me see if I can find a flatter one. Yeah, like if something has laid down on the ground, it's going to look like this. This one has some beautiful little holes in it. And, you know, this is what you're going to get. The only thing that you may find tricky is at the back, you might get some kind of curling. And so it could be like when you glue it down, you might want to press it down. But yeah, these kind of leaves are so useful. So I'll show you what I made today in my, maybe I'll do some of these with you. I've been trying to use up, see this plastic? I recently bought some down pillows for the beds in my house because I love goose down pillows, and they come in these beautiful zipper, you know, packages, and I wanted to use every last bit of the plastic. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making these kind of shaker cards. So these are some of the pages that I saved from the Flower Chronicles book, and I'm just tearing them out. I'm adding a leaf, so I'm using those leaves, and then I'm just adding a nice focal point, in this case birds, and you see how pretty they are. And then I stitch around. I add some little gold sequins in there so they can shake. You could use seeds or, you know, bits of crumpled leaf also make really nice little bits. You could crumple leaves up and put little bits like that in there. But yeah, that is the project that I wanted to share with you today. So check out Ceri the crafter with his really awesome little tutorial on making these. It's just really got me inspired for my walks, like, you know, because I don't typically, I think my flower press, I wouldn't want to have to be out in the field, like messing with the screws, trying to, you know, do that. And I often collect a lot of things, but I'll just throw them all in a bag. And for more delicate stuff, like, you know, if you find a pretty flower, and you want to preserve it. Like I once found like a lady slipper orchid that had been cut, like I don't pick those kind of things because they're almost like the trillium in Ontario, right? It's like illegal to pick them. I don't think they're protected, but I did find one once when I was going, I was somewhere in Aurelia, Ontario, and I was going to a little free library, and there just happened to be a little path that I was walking on, and there was a whole little section of these lady slipper orchids. They're so pretty. And one of them beside the path had gotten bent and like had fallen, you know, down. And I remember I was like, oh, I picked it up, but like I have no clue what happened to it. Well, this would have come in handy for that moment. So yeah, what a fun little thing to toss in your bag, right? Especially if like maybe you're going out for a day of like nature study or journaling or something. You're going to sit outside, you have this, you have your journal. It's a nice thing to kind of keep, even if you were doing a project, like maybe you were going outside and you were going to paint and press these leaves onto some paper. Maybe there were certain leaf shapes that you really wanted to keep. Like I love when I can collect bloodwood, or bloodroot rather. It's a really interesting shaped leaf. Maybe you would want to keep them tucked in here as like a paint project book. So those are just a few expanded ideas on Ceri's original idea, but I hope you'll enjoy this video and see all of the fun, beautiful fall stuff that I saw today. And until next time, take good care of you, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.